Detroit Pistons and Golden State Warriors, two surging teams who are 10-2 in their last 12 games, and they both faced off tonight. Find out what happens next on Rudy SKC. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your guy Rudy SKC, and welcome to a brand new video. Pistons versus Warriors at Golden State today at the Chase Center, and what a game it was. The Pistons, unfortunately, today lose 115-110 to the Warriors. But guys, I know we lost this game. I'm telling you, it was finals level. It was a finals level matchup between Golden State and Detroit. That was the level of competitiveness from the first whistle all the way to the last whistle. So as I mentioned, both these teams are surging right now in the Eastern Conference and Western Conference, respectively. The Pistons and Warriors, they're 10-2 in their last 12, and they matched up tonight. The Warriors, obviously, they had this crazy turnaround since they were able to trade for Jimmy Butler. And the Pistons, who've had a couple runs throughout the year, are starting to really come into their own. And this matchup, honestly, it was huge to see the progress that both teams had made so far. And ultimately, for me, the ending of the game, yes, Pistons lose 115-110. It came down to a championship DNA team, to a team that hasn't been in the playoffs yet. And that was really the deal. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But before we do, I just want to say this right here. First, before anything, I loved the defensive effort at this game. Since February 8th, the Detroit Pistons are the number 1 NBA team in terms of defense. Golden State is the number 4 team in that same stretch in terms of team defense in the NBA. And you had both the teams face off today, and they brought their best. I mean, it was just unbelievable to see all the different switching the Pistons did today. I know last time on the channel we talked about Golden State having such a different offense with all their off-ball action, so all these split-screen actions and all these crazy things that most other teams in the NBA don't do. They run this high pick and roll, right? And they try to run 4-on-3s if you double-team the best player, ball handler. That's not what Golden State does. They do something completely different. And last time the Pistons played, all those back screens, all those cuts, they were completely flustered. And today, you could tell that looked like a team that knows from experience how to defend that. They looked like a team who had been wrecked with that same style of offense last time they played. And they're able to come out today, and that defensive level, that competitiveness in that first half especially, it was just beautiful to watch. Just beautiful to watch. I love the defense we're playing on Steph. I love the defense Asar was playing, way he was keeping up with Steph. Even Malik Beasley, whenever he switched on him. Cade had a great couple possessions when he was switched on to Steph. And then even the Warriors, I mean, it's just a beautiful, I get a little giddy about this. It's a beautiful thing to see amazing team defense in the NBA. And the Warriors, the defense they were playing on Cade, the defense that Draymond, as a help defender off these pick and rolls, was playing on Cade in the first half. And then Moses Moody is the on-ball defender who actually ended up making probably one of the game-winning steals on Cade Cunningham. What kind of defense he was playing. It was outstanding. For Cade, I mean, we've watched every Pistons game this year. I'd probably have to say the best defenders I've seen against Cade, I'd say Andrew Nembhard on the Pacers. I'd say Dyson Daniels on the Hawks. Potentially Derek White on the Celtics, but not so much of those other two. And guys, I think Moses Moody is right in there. That was incredible defense on Cade today. Incredible defense. I mean, I haven't seen Cade really have to struggle like that for points in a while. It's been a few games since we've seen that, since he wasn't just having an off night because he was missing shots. We haven't seen that in a while. So complete credit to Moses Moody. Complete credit to that entire Golden State defense. That defense is run by Jerry Stackhouse, who has some great Detroit ties. So obviously that's really great to see. Just an overall great, scrappy game. I hate that the refs called 56 fouls in this game. I mean, when you have the level of defense being played in this game as you did, having 56 foul calls, it just takes away from it, in my opinion. I mean, swallow the whistle a little bit. Allow a little physicality, will you, NBA? There were some calls that were just ridiculous. They slowed down the tempo of the game. And there were like some points in the game where the game got a little bit slow. But when it got back going, man, I mean, it was finals level. That's all I have to say. Like it was genuinely, it was playoff NBA Finals level basketball that you saw today. That's exactly what it was. It was two teams scrapping, fighting hard against each other with all their might, with everything they have. We know the Warriors. This is basically their last go. This is Steph and Draymond's last go. They have Jimmy Butler. I mean, this is going to be one of their last seasons. So they're in full go mode right now. And the Pistons, young, scrappy team, coming into town, coming into the Bay, coming into San Francisco, and they're trying to take over the Warriors. So to me, absolutely unbelievable. Other thing, like I was talking about on defense with Steph, you guys forced Steph Curry to shoot 4-15 from three-point range. Now, some of those, Steph was having a little bit of an off night. I don't know. He seems to always have off nights when he plays us. Like, I think you guys, I don't know if you know this, we are the only team in the NBA that Steph doesn't have a 40-point game against. The only team in the NBA. So somehow, something about Detroit, it's the aura. It's definitely the Detroit aura. Steph just can't seem to, put up big numbers against us. But, I mean, he's still at 32 today, so let's not kid ourselves. But 4-15 from 3, I'll take that any day of the week and on Sundays. In general, you held Golden State to 29% from 3, and you were able to dominate in the paint essentially for a majority of the game. So, in my opinion, that's a win-win. That is a formula for a win if I've ever seen one. It just came down to Golden State also playing very tough and physical on the defensive side of the ball. So, yeah, I'm proud of the team. The loss sucks. But you're okay with these kind of losses when you're not in the game because the other team is resting all their main players. They're having a little bit of an off game and you're competing off of that. The other team, they're trying their all. They're a surging team. And these type of losses happen. No, we'll get into exactly some more specifics there, but that's at a high level. That to me is what this game was. Just a little bit specifically on the game. I mean, really, if you want to talk about the execution, this is the deal. Okay, so let me paint you guys a picture right here. Cade Cunningham, he on a fast break off a Steph Curry turnover. Cade Cunningham goes up, gets a layup. Pistons go up 1. Now, if anyone on Golden State was to get up a shot on the next and make a three-pointer, anyone on Golden State, who is the one person you would not expect to do that? Mr. Draymond Green. But Draymond Green gets an open look at a 3, and he hits it, man. He hits it. There's nothing you can do about that. Only thing you can do is respond, right? It's unlucky. I mean, we know Draymond. I mean, he hasn't shot well from 3-point range since 2016. He had a great start to the year, but I mean, he's a very below average 3-point shooter. You give that shot to him 10 out of 10 times. I'm not mad at that at all. But he makes it. And now you need to come down and respond. And what happens? Cade comes down, Moses Moody strips him. And that cannot happen. That cannot happen, and I'm going to talk about it in a second. So now Cade turns the ball over. Golden State gets the ball. Draymond gets fouled. There's about 28-ish seconds left on the clock. Draymond goes to the free throw line. He goes 1 for 2, and now the Pistons have the ball. And this is where I maybe have an issue with JB Bickerstaff and what he's telling the players. Cade, I'm fine with this, right? You drive off Draymond. He's able to get penetration. He goes in, gets an easy dunk. Now, here's what happened, right? Off the previous Draymond free throw, you had 2 free throws. So you called a free throw and you called this play for Cade. Now you're down to 1 free throw. And now it's a 1-point game. Now, there's about, 16, 17 seconds still left on the clock. You want to foul a bad 3-point shooter for Golden State so they can go down and there's a chance that they miss 1 out of 2 free throws. Because what does this mean? This means now you can advance the ball and you can hold for the last shot. Because it would only be a 2-point game. And so Golden State can't foul and make you shoot free throws the rest of the way. Because you have 1 timeout left, this is your one chance to actually make that strategy work. And Golden State, they inbound the ball to Draymond Green, and this is where I lost it. How do you not foul Draymond Green there? Instead of that, you wait 5 seconds to instead foul Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry, the greatest shooter God has ever created in Stephen A. Smith's wise words. Instead of fouling Draymond Green, who's just missed 1 free throw, by the way, you foul Stephen Curry, who's going to the free throw line, and he's knocking down 2 free throws, 93% shooter from the free throw line on the year. So to me, that was complete mismanagement by the Pistons. When you run that play for Cade, you're doing that with the sense that, okay, we're going to get Golden State to come down and make them make both free throws once again. That's your goal. Because, if you can put, even if it's Moses Moody, if it's Draymond Green, if it's Jimmy Butler, you put one of them at the free throw line and they're able to miss a shot there, then you can play for the last shot. You have a timeout. You can design something. Play for the last shot, man. And instead, you give Steph Curry the free throws, and the game is kind of over from there. Yeah, Malik Beasley has a chance to tie the game up, yada, yada, yada. I think K should have taken the shot, yada, yada, yada. Whatever, Woodward Sports, the 97-1. They're going to be arguing about this on Monday. Whatever, who cares? But to me, that was the crucial play. Because that's a mental thing. It's not a the player didn't actually. That's a mental thing. It's a mental thing. And I don't know what was going on with the Pistons there. That's just unacceptable to me in terms of execution. So that's what I mean when I say that. You have a team with championship DNA, championship pedigree. They have Draymond, they have Steph, they have Looney, who's basically coaching on the bench at this point. I mean, he had a couple good plays today, but he's coaching on the bench. Have Jimmy Butler, who's dragged teams to the finals before. And then you have the Pistons, who haven't been to the playoffs before. And that's when you have mistakes in late games like this. Golden State made mistakes. That Steph turnover was a mistake. Draymond Green was George Blaha said it perfectly. Draymond Green was the only person in that entire arena who knew he was going to take the shot. That most likely was a mistake. But even then, the ability of Golden State to be able to dig themselves out of these situations, it defines a team that has championship experience. And the Pistons don't have that. But I will say this. Yeah, you're a young team. Ultimately, though, despite the fact that he had 31 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, 17 points in the third quarter, Serge led the Pistons in scoring. I think this game comes down to Cade Cunningham because 9 turnovers are just unacceptable. Just unacceptable. And yeah, I know it's basically 8 turnovers. The last one was it was at the end of the game, kind of just like trying to make something happen at the end of the game. It's a BS turnover. But 9 turnovers is way too much. And for one of the turnovers to be on essentially a crucial possession down the stretch where you are down 2 points and you have a chance at tying, you don't even get a shot up there. You don't get a good look because your point guard lost the ball at half court. He got ripped. It wasn't an errant pass. He got ripped. Guys, there's types of turnovers in the NBA. There's the turnover where someone steps out of bounds. That's frustrating. It's a dead ball turnover. There's a turnover where, you throw the ball out of bounds somehow. That's a bad turnover. There's turnovers where you make a bad pass to someone down the court, across the court, and now they go up in transition, in semi-transition. That's an even worse turnover. But the worst turnover in basketball is getting stripped as a ball handler. Optically, it's the worst turnover in basketball because it shows that straight up your defender stripped you of the ball while you were dribbling. And Cade, for all we say, that's something that he does struggle with a little bit, right? And in terms of, that's why his turnover numbers are a little high. It's because he gets stripped a lot, right? His handle isn't the tightest in the league per se. So he gets stripped a lot. But for that to happen in that magnitude and that level of that game, it's just unacceptable to me. And he needs to be better. You need your start. He just hit a clutch bucket, the possession before Draymond hits a 3. Now you're thinking, okay, Cade, this is you. And he doesn't even get a shot up because he turns the ball over. It's things like that you don't want to see as a Pistons fan. And you need Cade to be better. We know Cade can be better, man. He's our franchise player. He's soon to be a top 5 player. I'm saying it right now. He's soon to be a top 5 player in this league. But late in games, you can't turn the ball over. And you can't have 9 turnovers in a game. Yeah, I'm sorry. You can't have 9 turnovers in a game. So that's that. I think despite the fact that he was one of the only reasons that you were actually still in this game and, Golden State wasn't running away with it, he has to be better in that. Yeah, you're a young team, but enough is enough, Cade. We're getting close to the playoffs. This level of turning the ball over is not sustainable in the playoffs. It's just not. So I think that's really, outside of the execution down the stretch, that really hurt us in this game. I also didn't like we got out-rebounded 46-44. I know it's not a huge margin, but I'm really only bringing this up because there are a couple plays where Guy Santos just completely out-efforted the entire Pistons squad. And I thought that was a little disheartening to see Guy Santos out-hustle Asar Thompson. Come on, Asar, right? you got to be better. And he knows better. And those were just mental errors that he's going to have to fix. But, like, yeah, like, off the putback on the missed Steph 3. Like, come on, right? Just fix those couple things. So that's what I mean on the rebounds. Yeah, you played defense. You played defense well. But, again, that's the big thing. I thought Beef Stew had some great minutes. Score sheet only says 7 points, 3 rebounds. No blocks, but he had some great minutes to end the first quarter, to start the second quarter even. On offense, whether it was, getting players set up, whether it was, getting the ball in the 4-on-3 with Cade, or even in transition, or what he was doing clogging up cutting lanes. That's huge when you're going against Golden State. The ability to be able to clog the cutting lanes, that's huge, and he did a really good job of that. Now, one thing I'll say to you, Beef Stew, we all in Detroit, right, in Michigan, we all love Beef Stew's competitiveness, his tenacity, the heart that he brings to this team. There's no one in the NBA he's scared of. With that being said, in the fourth quarter, there are about 4 to 5 players in the league that you just don't talk trash to. I'm sorry, I don't care who they are. You don't talk trash to. And one of them is Wardell Stephen Curry. And that's what Beef Stew did today. And that scared me to death. Because it was a close game then. And it didn't work out today. Steph didn't end up going nuclear. I mean, he still had some crazy plays at the end of the game. He still had some and ones at the bucket. His shot was a little bit off. But I'm telling you right now, Beef Stew, Stephen Curry, in the fourth quarter, not a person to talk trash to. Not a person to talk trash to. Right? Just like you wouldn't talk trash to Kobe Bryant. You wouldn't talk trash to Michael Jordan. Steph Curry, you don't talk trash to. Because if that guy really, really wants it, if he really, really wants to end the game, he can take it up a notch. He can take it up a notch and finish it. And we've seen him do that on multiple occasions. We've seen him just go into a nuclear, unconscious mode late in games before. You saw it in the Olympics. So that's something for Isaiah Stewart. That's something for Ron Holland too. Something for the rest of the NBA. Just don't talk trash to Steph, right? I don't care that it worked today. It's not a good strategy on any planet, on any day of the week, in any season. Talking trash to Steph Curry, not a good strategy. I like Duren today as well, 13 rebounds. He's really cleaning up the glass, especially in the first half. Really good to see. I mean, the turnaround from Duren, absolutely amazing, and it's great that you can get Duren, great minutes out of Duren, especially the way he's improved on defense, and then you get to go to Stew off the bench. Same thing, Ron Holland. He had a couple possessions with the Euro and the lay and the finish. It was great by Ron Holland. His score sheet again, I'll say only had 4 points, but when you're a rookie and you get the minutes that Ron Holland does, holding on to the little plays as fans, I mean, you can see the potential is there, man. I mean, Ron Holland, it's like a seed that just germinated, and you can see it starting to sprout. You can see it starting to find the sunlight slowly and surely. So that's exciting to see with Ron Holland. Some of those finishes, man, they're filthy. On Draymond, on one of the best defenders in NBA history. So absolutely great. Same thing, I'd also say Tobias, he's been rock solid over the last month. He went 4 of 11 today for 15 points. I mean, the efficiency numbers are misleading. He was an offer in the first half, and second half he came out, and man, that mid-range, when Tobias is going this past month, that mid-range has just been deadly for other teams, man. So great to see Tobias with that. He's been a reliable person to score. When Cade is not on the court, even to give Cade another guy to say, hey, you don't have to create every single point for the Pistons. It's great to see that Steph can do that. I also loved his defensive effort on Jimmy. A lot of Jimmy's buckets came on defenders that weren't as strong. They came on Asar Thompsons. They came on Malik Beasley's. They came on Hardaway's. They came off screens on lobs into the rim. So I liked Tobias's. He was sneaky good on defense against Jimmy, which I really liked. So yeah, guys, that about wraps it up for Golden State to Detroit versus Detroit. I think Detroit, they showed you when we come to play defense, and that's that. When we come to play defense. And I know they lost the game, but they're sending a message to the rest of the league that I love. Because every iteration of the Pistons, whether the bad boys or the going to work Pistons, every Pistons team that has found success has been built on the foundations of defense. And that's what this Pistons team is doing, and it is a beautiful sight to behold. So, again, I'll be back for Michigan MSU tomorrow. I actually have a special video coming out on whether Steph Curry is actually in the GOAT conversation or not. So you guys look out for that, especially if there are any Warriors fans watching this video. Definitely look out for that. It'll be a little special episode. I know I focus a lot on, Detroit-based sports, but, obviously we want to expand a little bit to the rest of the NBA as well. Have a little bit fun with all types of fan bases. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to let you go now. Have fun, and make sure you subscribe and click the notification button so you know exactly when all of my posts go live, so you can be the first one to come up and watch. And until then, guys, I'll see you next time. Peace.